Welcome to Artists Books Unshelved. Today I am here to share two books from the collection that focus on stories of the impermanence of place. 17927 by Jaime Lynn Shafer and Local Conditions by Chandler O'Leary both utilize the layering of tunnel books for readers to engage with the land. 17927 is one of the many artists' books Jaime Lynn Shafer has created that personalize broader social justice and environmental concerns. She currently lives in Nevada, but Shafer grew up in central Pennsylvania. She began investigating mine fires after learning that her grandfather had briefly worked in a nearby coal mine. The centerpiece of 17927 is a tunnel book. Letterpress printed text outlines the hole in each layer. It reads, "Now a ghost town, Centralia, Pennsylvania was once a thriving mining town with close to 1,000 residents. In early 1981, a 12-year-old boy named Todd fell into a sinkhole. The sinkhole measured 4 feet wide by 150 feet deep. Todd was pulled to safety by his cousin. His experience brought national attention to the fire burning below the town. Centralia's abandoned strip mine, used as the town dump, caught fire in 1962 and has been burning ever since. Now less than 10 residents remain in their homes." When I first read this, I wasn't sure which way was up. I found myself turning the book in my hands to read it, which lent me a sense of uncertain footing. I wondered how it would feel to walk in a town with fire burning below the surface. The layers of linoleum block prints represent the coal receding into the mine fire deep below the ground. Shafer wanted to create a visual that had an almost whimsical feel in order to draw people into the more serious topic. On either side of the tunnel book are maps. On the left, we see the layout of town and the number of buildings before the mine fire was discovered. On the right, we see what remained of the population when Shafer made this book in 2015. In the colophon, Shafer provides a little more history of the government buyouts and the residents who refused to leave, despite the health and property hazards. We also learn that the title 17927 references the town's zip code, revoked by the U.S. Postal Service after most of the residents left. Shafer has focused on just the right information to explain the broad strokes of the social and environmental devastation of the Centralia mine fire. 17927 made me curious to investigate more. I have since learned that according to the 2020 census, 5 people still reside in Centralia, and the mine fire could burn for another 250 years. Chandler O'Leary is a Tacoma, Washington-based illustrator, lettering artist, and author. Before moving to the Pacific Northwest, O'Leary had long admired the work of Katsushika Hokusai, the Japanese artist best known for his woodblock print series, 36 Views of Mount Fuji and 100 Views of Mount Fuji. On a visit to Seattle, O'Leary was struck by the many times she saw Mount Rainier, also known as Mount Tahoma, Tacloba, and Tiswalk, among other indigenous names. She noticed how the mountain, a dormant volcano, was omnipresent, yet changeable depending on the light, weather, and perspective. This led her back to Hokusai's prints, and how his images of Mount Fuji are less about the actual mountain and more about the changing seasons, landscapes, and everyday life around the mountain. After moving to Tacoma, O'Leary embarked on her own project to share a similar view of Mount Rainier. The 4 sides of the box containing local conditions show the north, east, south, and west faces of Mount Rainier at sunset. I noticed that this removable case resembles a traditional chitsu, a hinged board case that wraps around one or more Japanese books. On the interior are the colophon and instructions on how to interact with the book. We can remove the viewing box and slide it into position. The other 2 drawers contain 120 flats, which we can interchange to create layered scenes. O'Leary's creative practice includes a lot of travel and a deep commitment to sketching urban and rural landscapes on location. All of the flats and local conditions come from actual views of Mount Rainier, developed from sketches, photographs, and data she collected in person. As she crisscrossed the region, O'Leary hunted for perspectives that would show Mount Rainier in all seasons, from every direction possible, with lots of iconic Pacific Northwest subject matter in the view. To recreate any of these original scenes, we can consult the locator key. In the stab-bound booklet, O'Leary also includes details about the location and weather conditions on the day she was there. Each of these flats was letterpress printed, then hand-colored and hand-cut by O'Leary. It took her nearly a decade of intensive work to complete this edition of 31 books. That is 3,720 flats, for those of you running the math. O'Leary told me her greatest discovery and joy in creating this book is that engaging with local conditions prompts readers to share their own stories and memories of the mountain. O'Leary told me just giving viewers the chance to play with the book and create their own scenes churns up their memories, and it has been incredibly rewarding and humbling to see. It is not easy to simultaneously hold the many views of a place's history, impermanence, and the stories of the individuals who live there. Both 17927 and local conditions offer us these micro and macro perspectives, compelling us to consider our past, present, and future with the land.